What's going on, my fellow Farmall brothers and sisters? Alright, well, we're into a project on the other 450 now, so stay tuned. I'll show you what I started. Alright, even though the garage is a little bit of a mess, see there's something not sitting here anymore. I pushed the 450 gasser out, and I don't know, before it got cold, I got the bug to go ahead and get her stripped down real quick and get her ready for paint. So I'm going to spin this camera around and kind of show you what I got started, and we're going to shoot some red oxide primer on here. Well, actually no, we're shooting the rusty metal primer on this one, even though she's pretty clean. But 2 days worth of scraping, wire wheeling, needle scaling, you name it. I mean, I burned through my needles trying to get some of the stuff. This thing got a lot of crud on it, but it came out pretty good actually. She came out clean. The back tires, both of them were loaded. They were a bear to get off. I actually was able to get the rim clamps off of these easy enough. That 3/4 inch breaker bar, the 3-foot breaker bar. Man, that thing is a godsend, because if it wasn't for that, there's no way to break those things loose. Even my impact, you know, on the highest setting, it's like 1,400 foot-pounds of my impact, and it struggled. But once I put that breaker bar on there, broke them loose, then hit them with the impact, took them right off. But yeah, let's go ahead and spin this around, kind of show you what I got going on here, and let's get some primer on this thing. Alright, so she's pushed out and jacked up, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, cinder blocks, don't do that. You put it on both the areas where the support is, cinder block ain't going nowhere. It's not going to crush. It might have crushed when I left these tires on there, because those things are freaking heavy. I bet you, again, these things are probably every bit of 3/4 filled. I mean, they were ungodly getting off. But anyway, I got it all stripped down actually pretty good. I got it down to its original paint, you know, and I scuffed all the bad areas. I was a little nervous. I thought the casting was actually cracked right here. See this Frankenstein scar? But when I went ahead and I hit the grinder into it just to kind of see if this was like a crack or somebody repaired it or what happened, this is a casting blemish. This made me nervous. I really thought that was a crack. But when I started grinding like into it and all, no, she's solid. But yeah, that made me a little nervous at first. I was like, oh shit, the case is cracked. But luckily it wasn't. I mean, I guess you're going to get that obviously in castings. I mean, they're going to have flaws, they're going to have marks, you know, they're going to have crack like that. It's just the you know, nature of the beast. But yeah, she came out actually really good. She's all degreased, cleaned out, all the rails, I mean everything. The front end got a tad bit of flash rust from last night, because of course as I tarped it, then it started raining. I got most of it off, but we're putting the rusty metal primer on her anyway, so she's good. But everything's all blown out, cleaned out, and yeah, looking pretty good. I am actually really anxious to go ahead and get the primer and get the paint on this thing, and finally see this tractor here in paint. This was obviously the first 450 that I brought home, so you know, again, a little bit more of the special one. Love the diesel, but down to the gasser is I don't know, it's a hard call which is my favorite. But anyway, neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get some primer mixed up. I'm going to use a 1.7 tip in one of my older guns for the primer, and I'm going to reduce it down a little bit just to help it spray just a little better, but I don't want to go too thin. I want the primer to be a little heavy. We're going to go ahead and get this thing sprayed, and I'm going to use acetone so it flashes off a little faster, because it's about 52 degrees, so we're at that borderline of temperature. So I want to get this thing done. If I can get it flashed quick with acetone, I can come back in about probably 2 hours, and I can start putting the first coat of paint on here. And hopefully I can get the second coat of paint on. If I can't get the second coat on, then the second coat's going to go on tomorrow morning. So either way, no big deal. But I am really looking forward to getting this thing all one color. I'm happy to see the pinkish color is off of there. That usually happens when you use the paints a lot of times with no hardener or a cheaper paint. It sits out in the sun, it turns pink. It's just what it does. So this one here, I am going to go ahead and put hardener in this paint because this tractor is going to get used with that front loader outside quite a bit. So I don't want this thing turning pink anytime soon. So we're going to go ahead and put some hardener in the paint. But anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get this stuff mixed up and let's get started. All right, so I got 16 ounces of primer, 2 ounces of acetone, and I'm using one of these new cup systems from Harbor Freight. Never used one of these before, so hopefully it'll work. And I do got a 1.7 tip. Actually, no, it's a 2. I might have to reduce that tip down. I thought it was a 1.7. Okay, I'm going to hit this in an inconspicuous spot, and if it's coming out too thick, I'm going to change that tip to a smaller tip because I don't want a whole shit ton of material in there because then it's just going to get thick and eventually orange peel. So, yeah, let me try this on a small spot real quick. Nah, the 2 is actually working good for what I reduced it to. So, let's get and rock and roll. Let's get this thing sprayed. All right, so she is all coated. I wasn't going to bore you guys with a whole video of just shooting primer on this thing because there was really no need to. There's enough videos out there showing start to finish priming. All I really did was, as you saw when I started through here, adjust the dial on the gun and take it to more of a straight stream rather than a fan, and then just feather the trigger, and that'll get you all up inside all these crevices and all, and then keep the paint slightly wet so you don't get a dry spray. Do that and you can get into all these hard to reach areas, which is what I did, and pretty much everything got coated really nicely. So once this dries, like I said, I'll put acetone in instead of mineral spirits because I want this thing to flash off faster, and it's drying. So I don't know because it decided to cloud up on me. It was supposed to be sunny, but of course you know how that always works out. Anyway, so it's probably going to take a little longer to dry than I want it, but no big deal. I mean, she's coated. At least it's primed. Everything is done. It's all one color. Can't argue with that. So as soon as this thing dries up, we're going to go ahead and start shooting some red on there. What I'm probably going to do is use the rattle cans to get into, again, all the hard-to-reach crevices that the can will fit better than the spray gun will. But then, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and then once we get all the little crevices and all the little nooks kind of touched up, and then we're going to go to town and spray this thing. And, yeah, she'll finally be red instead of pink. But anyway, so that's it for this portion. Honestly, I tell you what, I'm probably going to go ahead and just do another whole video on shooting the red. Just that way I can keep the content flowing. So, I guess I'm going to end this video here. So if you guys liked it, hit that notification bell for future videos. And make sure you hit that like button. And, other than that, I guess that's it. So, I guess I will see you guys when I get the red paint mixed up and we start spraying. So, thanks for watching.